All this week, we're having a good time talking about Chicago summer festivals. And you know what goes great with a hot day at a local festival? A great cold local beer. That's why I'm putting you on Revolution Brewing's new Cold Time Lager. Brewed low and slow with that Lake Michigan water, Cold Time is easy drinking. Perfect for festivals, block parties, and all things summertime shy. I usually got a couple tucked with me on the kayak. Find it and other Revolution Brewing beers at your favorite festival, neighborhood bar, or on shelves across the city. Check out the latest at revbrew.com. Today on CityCast Chicago, Riot Fest is moving, Foxtrot is unceremoniously returning, and we're playing a little summer festival trivia. I'm joined by Block Club Chicago's Jamie Nesbitt Golden and WCIU TV host Brandon Pope. It's Friday, June 14th. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago's talking about. Morning, Jamie. How you feeling today?
Super. Great. Have my coffee now. Everybody's safe.
Hey, I appreciate you making time for us today. Welcome back to the podcast, Brandon Pope.
Hey, what's good, man? Always good to be on with you. And Jamie Nesbitt Golden, the Scooter Gang. Scoot.
Scooter Gang. Gang, gang.
If you are new to CityCast Chicago, this is probably the pairing that we have had most often on our Friday news roundups, where we look back on some of the biggest headlines from the weeks, the stories that matter to us, and we always leave y'all with some good news. And today, as I said earlier, we're doing something special to round out our festival week, and that's playing a little bit of trivia. This week, we talked food festivals, art festivals, music festivals. And so I have to ask y'all, which one is on your calendar for sure? Jamie, I want to start back with you. What's that summer festival you're most looking forward to?
Chosen Few, baby.
Come on.
Every year I go and get my life from sunup to sundown. For folks who aren't familiar, Chosen Few Picnic is like one of the longest running festivals in the South Side. Five phenomenal house DJs, guest appearances by house greats. It's like a family picnic / reunion / it's just dope. And the energy is always great. It's always a good time. So I will be there this year dancing my ass off as usual.
July 13th, Jackson Park. We already had sort of the house series at Millennium Park. There seems to be more house events being put on this summer, which I'm very excited for. And Chosen Few is at the top of the list. Pope, what about you, man? I've been watching the stories. G, you already been out here. A festival here, a rooftop there. What's that summer festival that's definitely on your calendar?
Yeah, man. I mean, Chosen Few, I'm definitely looking forward to. But for me, Wicker Park Fest, it's always one I really enjoy. I love Wicker Park. I love that strip of Division. I love the amount of antique stores to pop into and just the different stuff to do. So yeah, Wicker Park Fest for me is the one I can't wait for.
Wait, hold on. So, Pope, you do antiquing? Like you go antiquing?
I mean, I like seeing vintage things, you know. I enjoy being a hipster, you know.
Out here doing your little antique road show. I see you. Okay.
Pope ass funny as hell, G. Wicker Park Fest, July 26th through the 28th. I know there's a lot of y'all who are listening to this podcast either for the first time, you knew, or you're a long time listener, but you really be getting down on these Friday Jones. But please, this week, which has been sponsored by Revolution Brewing, has been extremely fun. We've been talking summer festivals all week long. So make sure you go back and listen to Monday through Thursday's episodes. But again, you are here on Friday to talk about some of the biggest stories in the week. Brandon, I want to start with you. The story that you wanted to talk about is, we know how people have Chicago's name in their mouth throughout the year, bad mouthing us, but you wanted to draw some light to the data and what the data is saying about Chicago in regards to most recent crime statistics.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I think when it comes down to it, you hit it on the head. The fear mongering is wild, not just from outside the city, but within it, and from some elected leaders. So it's important to put things in context. And here's the thing: Chicago homicides, they are down 21% so far this year compared to 2023, and they're lower than they've ever been at the same point in 8 of the last 10 years. So, obviously, we still have crime, we still have tragedy, and it's important that we, realize that and do our best to eradicate that. But we also got to be realistic. I've seen a lot of people come out here and say crime is rising. It's not. It's actually been going down. And if you want to zoom out just nationally, as we talk about the 2024 election, we have one candidate that's tried to spell out doom and gloom for the country. The FBI's got new stats, too, that crime plummeted in the first quarter of 2024. Murder decreased by 26%, robbery by 17.8%, aggravated assault dropped by 12.5%, and property crime decreased by 15%. Compared to 2023. So these are numbers that are really important to keep in mind when people are fear mongering, saying that things are in chaos, the world is on fire. I mean, the world is on fire, but we do have some signs of progress when it comes to local crime and around the country.
Hey, one thing I really appreciate that's been happening in the city of Chicago is we are having a broader conversation about what our public safety strategy needs to look like. Even the Tribe this week started their Reframing Crime Narrative series, which is a 10-part series about public safety. And they talked with Marquita Sims, Stravon Wright, Taisha Jackson, and Pablo Mendoza. These are residents from Inglewood to East and West Garfield Park, people who are living in the most disinvested communities in Chicago, where violent crime is more likely to happen because of these societal factors. And they want to remind people that let's remember the human beings who are living and most impacted by this, who have been impacted by gun violence on a day-to-day basis, whose neighborhoods live at the heart of this fear mongering. And what I appreciate about this series is it reminds us that there are people who want broader police presence in their neighborhoods, who want to see the police presence on public transit in their neighborhoods in comparison to downtown. There are people who want to see us more investment in restorative justice practices. People want to see more investment in diversion programs and in first responder programs. And so the conversation is broadening. Jamie, as you cover your beat, how have you seen this conversation shifting, especially in an election year where things are so charged, where the DNC is headed to Chicago? And we know how politicians on both sides of the aisle use Chicago as, let's be honest, this sort of racist symbol and representation of sort of crime in cities. To see this data, but also to see these broadening conversations. What does that look like in your day-to-day work?
So I'm not going to lie. It depends on where I am. So if I'm in the South Loop covering crime, it's going to be a lot of, we want more police. These goddamn teenagers are everywhere. We don't feel like, and like, we're also really upset about aggressive panhandlers, right? Like that seems to be the general thing. But if I'm say in Bronzeville or like a little further south, then yeah, we're concerned about crime, but we're also open to solutions that aren't so punitive. Like, especially if like the crime involves like a teenager. So like sort of varies.
Mm-hmm. Jamie, a big story that came out earlier this week is Riot Fest, longtime festival that's been held in Douglas Park for the last few years and has had a lot of pushback from members in the community who say, how is this summer festival serving us? How are they interacting with the community? Well, they announced that they're moving to Bridgeview, to SeatGeek Stadium for their festival run from September 20th to 22nd. Gia, this has set off a number of interesting storylines. Can you catch us up here?
So, like you said, like Riot Fest has been a problem for a lot of folks who live around Douglas Park for years. They have, to their credit, tried to make inroads with that community by offering free tickets, job opportunities and stuff like that. But the wear and tear, I attended Riot Fest last year. Like every year, the cleanup is insane. And also it takes away from, the fact that folks who, live near the park want to enjoy the park, but they can't because usually the park is, sort of off limits for these private events throughout the summer. So that's another sort of point of contention. Riot Fest, does bring in money for the city, but I guess, for a lot of folks, the cons kind of outweigh the pros. And, some residents are sad to see it go, but for the most part, it's okay, well, maybe, the suburbs would be a better fit. Also, I think, and if I'm not mistaken, this move also bumped the women's soccer team from the schedule. So folks also feel a way about that.
When the announcement came down, I immediately was like, the tone that they are taking as sort of they are the victims of sort of city bureaucracy and sort of couldn't get things worked out. I wasn't really messing with that. At the time when they first announced earlier this week that they were going to move away and they sort of announced Riot Land, everyone started to speculate, like, where are they going to go? And I saw a tweet that was like, well, they can't go out to SeatGeek where, they are known. They got, I think North Coast is out there starting today. Summer Smash from Lyrical Lemonade is out there. So they're known to hosting summer festivals, but people were like, well, it can't be during that weekend because the Red Stars are playing. Well,
not anymore.
Then come to find out it's going there. And Red Stars leadership came out and said they got word in May that things could shift, but the follow up from the team and team lawyers and also from the township and the mayor, they said was really poor and really rushed. And honestly, Riot Fest, they can't get right, G. I mean, they do have, let's be real, they do have some advocates in Douglas Park, including in North Lawndale, including the alder, Monique Scott, who was pissed this week, who was like, this moving out of my ward sort of symbolizes an inability of the city to not be able to get things right, sort of siding with festival leadership. And so, again, for them to go from, in a lot of ways, pissing off one community to now at a time in which the Red Stars is just coming off of, record capacity over at Wrigley, to now be pissing them off and pissing fans off. This is sort of a can't get right moment. B Pope, what did you think when they announced this?
I was also taken aback by the tone from the Riot Fest organizers who were blaming the Chicago Park District and city bureaucracy. But I've also got big questions about what does this say? What message does this send about the city of Chicago? If you're in the mayor's office right now, I'm going to be interviewing Brandon Johnson this Friday, so I'll definitely be asking him, like, what message is this sending? They went to the burbs. Like, what's going on? So at the end of the day, it's really unfortunate. I wish they would have found a way to work within the system to correct the complaints from residents in the area, or just find a new neighborhood that maybe wouldn't be as resistant. But to leave Chicago altogether, it's a loss for the city, no doubt.
To be fair, like the same complaints that folks in North Lawndale have are the same complaints that folks in South Loop have. Like, again, we're right near this huge, public park, but we can't use it when we want to because most of the summer schedule is taken up by private events that we don't have access to or we have to pay for. And it's like, okay, well, like, we understand that, festivals, people want to come and enjoy and host, events on the property and the land, but like, that's also taking away from our enjoyment. And we pay taxes to keep that, these places green and beautiful. So like, it's just, I get it. Like folks didn't really want Riot Fest there. It has been years of that.
They didn't want it in Humboldt Park either, which, for people listening, Riot Fest used to be there and they moved from there as well over to Douglas Park where it's moving now. I guess one thing you bring up, especially when you talk about people wanting access to the park, the number of private companies that run, especially these major festivals. And we've been talking about summer festivals all week and how representative of Summertime Shy there. But the truth is, for a lot of people, it's not. Summertime Shy is just being outside in the park, on the block,
for free,
with your friends, for free, going to things for free. And so as much as the emphasis on how many great events there are, how many cool things there are to do, there's always a balance to this conversation of how much is that pulling away? How much does that take away from access? Because there's nuance here too, right? Riot Fest is put on by private organizers as a profit building measure versus your neighborhood fest or your, which, yes, raises money for your chamber of commerce or whatever, but that is at least direct community benefit, right? The events we can go to for free in our neighborhoods at least bring us into to other communities in a way that is different. And so, I know we've been having such a great conversation all week, but I appreciate how this story can be representative of, what it means to have a summertime shot that is for everybody. This week of all things summer festivals is brought to you by Revolution Brewing. That's because the folks over at Revolution know that Chicago shows up and shows out for their city in the summer, so the beer should too. Revolution Brewing is Illinois' largest independent craft brewery, born right here in Chicago. From their Hero IPAs to their Freedom Sours to their Cold Time Lager, everything is brewed locally. So grabbing a Chicago beer or two, maybe even three at a Chicago Summer Festival, I think it just makes sense if you ask me. Catch Revolution Brewing at your favorite festival or beer store and learn more at revbrew.com. That's REVbrew.com. There was one story this week that, as we were talking about it before we got on, it kind of split y'all a little bit. Back in April, there was this announcement that Foxtrot, Dom's Fresh Markets, they were abruptly shutting down. Right, meaning workers out of jobs, folks can't pull up on them. I had walked past a few, but I'd never really been in, never really shopped. But there was some news this week that these, sort of higher end, expensive chain grocery stores could be making a return. Somebody catch me up on this, Jamie. What's the latest here? And Brandon, we gonna bring you in. I wish people could see your face right now. We gonna bring you in, my G. We gonna bring you in, G.
So weeks after, the abrupt shutdown, Foxtrot founder Mike Lavatola, he's saying that he's bringing the stores back, but the independent vendors who once worked with them are now saying that they're not really feeling this reunion. And also a lot of the shoppers that they had, a lot of the fans of the store, and that's fair considering because, while I don't understand why anybody again would spend $17 for ice cream, there's definitely a need there. But also, you can also get your $17 ice cream from another grocer. I'm sorry. I just people were crying over this store and I do not understand. I'm really trying to understand how people can be in tears.
Now, I don't. I know you weren't. But I remember back in April when this happened, and obviously I'm on Twitter. This is where I was seeing the news. Ton of people going in, so it's kind of low hanging fruit, and then some people was like, "Hey, do black folks even care about this? Are black and brown folks even paying attention to this?" And then I did see at least one person in my feed was like, "Hey, nah, I mess with Foxtrot. I be in there."
It's like a lip piss is falling.
That person was you, G. That person was you. So put me on from the other side because I've only covered this from the news. What's the experience of walking through there, and what was it like reading the news that the joint was closing, and now kind of getting this, them kind of coming back, kind of hat in hand a little bit. Yeah, it's an expensive hat.
Look, ultimately, it came down to convenience. It was just a nice little bougie bodega. You go in there, there's candles you can buy. You could easily buy some craft beer, Jenny's ice cream, and then the food and the drinks were really good. I enjoyed getting my quick little breakfast tacos or breakfast sandwich or my matcha. I had the app, so you can order it on the app. It's already ready for you. And I lived right by there. It was just really just about convenience. And some of it was expensive. Some of it wasn't. $17 ice cream, I think, is an exaggeration.
Is it though?
It's like $9.99.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. A $9 pint of ice cream. You got me.
That's a standard Jenny's ice cream price you're going to pay at Jewel, too.
So did they burn a bridge on you or no?
A little bit, because I think the way they treated their employees was terrible. The way they went about the whole thing was awful. And the way they hurt local businesses. I think one of the gems of Foxtrot, one of the best things about it, is many of them were big about highlighting local businesses and supporting local distributors. So you would find a lot of good local products inside Foxtrots, especially the ones here in Gold Coast and in Old Town. So to take that all away and then to put these local distributors and business owners in a bind like that without any notice is really cold and really not right. So it definitely makes me question Foxtrot altogether. I'm also like, okay, if you can reopen two locations, your Gold Coast and Old Town locations, which are in your probably most lucrative neighborhoods, why even close them to begin with, right? Why even put your employees through that? So yeah, it does give me pause for sure. I will be thinking long and hard before I return for my matcha latte.
You're gonna be thinking long and hard standing outside the jump.
And by thinking long and hard, I mean it's gonna take me about 5 minutes, and then I'll probably end up still getting it at a convenience.
It does look like from the story, some of the current leadership, like it's kind of putting the onus on the merger and Dom's, and like says when the company's assets were purchased at auction, members of the investment firm reached out to Lavatola, the original founder, to see if they'd be interested in leading the company again. Who I believe founded it when they were a student at U Chicago.
I've got all the smoke for Dom's. Okay, I can't stand Dom's. Dom's came into my neighborhood and got rid of Plum Market. For what? Plum Market was already a pricey place. Then Dom's comes in and it's more pricey for no reason, and with less quality. So I just was very upset about that. I've had a vendetta against Dom's for a while. So Dom's downfall, I'm okay with. It's just the Foxtrot part that really just.
Have you found a new matcha latte since they closed?
I haven't had a matcha latte since they closed, which is. I think it's really changed my life in a way that's not good for the city. It's made me crankier. It's made my demeanor not as good, not as pleasant.
Switch transit cars if you see Pope, y'all. Get off the transit car. Get on the smoking car.
Somebody please send me a place to get a matcha latte that is not Starbucks, because I cannot stand their matchas.
Okay, yeah, no. Gross.
Yeah. I need some recommendations. So listeners, hit up Jacoby, hit me up, and let me know where I can go, because I'm lost.
773-780-0246. Text, voicemail. Please, I want to know how y'all feel about all of these stories so far. How you feel about Riot Fest? How you feel about matcha lattes at Foxtrots? Like, let us know about all of it. Text or voicemail.
We doing a Foxtrot field trip.
Sure. I mean, why not? You buy and no, because I'm poor. Like, I'm too poor to go to this stuff. Listen, I got student loans. I can't.
Right. I was like, bro, I ain't pulled up on them, but I'll grab the scooters. Pope get the lattes. Jamie, bring the speaker. So we at CityCast Chicago have spent the last 4 days covering all things about festivals, from music to food, on how, the best ways to travel to get there, to plan around the weather. So we want to bring on our good friends to play a little bit of trivia with us, right? Test y'all festival knowledge. And so y'all down for that?
Sure.
Let's get it.
First, we're going to start off with a quote of the week. I'm going to read y'all a quote out of the news, and the first person to say buzz, I want you to tell me who said the quote. All right. That's the first question. I'm going to read it. Let me get through the whole thing. And then I want you to say buzz, and we'll find out who you think said it. Here we go. Allow me to be clear as the azure sky of the deepest summer. Who said this?
Buzz. Rahm Emanuel? I don't know.
No.
Was it Andre 3000?
No. It happened this week in the city of Chicago. And here's my hint. It's related to some of the news we talked about today.
Brandon Johnson.
No.
Where do you want to win a word like that? Yeah. Was it Lupe Fiasco?
No.
Was it Riot Fest, like founder guy?
Yes. Mike Patrician, he explained, allow me to be clear as the azure sky of the deepest summer. Our exodus is solely because of the Chicago Park District.
Oh,
unfortunately, it was in a video text statement, so we don't have a clip of it. But yeah, and his response to the city to let them know why they were moving. Allow me to be clear as the azure sky of the deepest summer. Our exodus is solely because of the Chicago Park District.
I'm sorry,
I start using that word.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That is so dramatic, dude. Like just.
Nah, it's goofy as hell, G. It's big goofy. Like, what are you talking about, man? All right, question 2. Between parks, city-run festivals, street festivals of various sizes, getting the exact number on Chicago summer festivals is tough, but we do know how many special event permits were issued by the city's Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events in all of 2023. How many were there? And we'll do Price is Right rules. So whoever is closest without going over,
Great.
that's the person who will win. So we're looking for a number of D-Case event special permits last year.
Oh boy. I'm going to say 222.
Pope is locked in at 222.
187.
187. You should have went Price is Right rules and went the dollar over. The actual answer is 571.
Son of a bitch!
We talked it out with Neil Heights, director of event production over at D-Case earlier this week. And he said between Chicago Park District, D-Case, between like May and September, it's something like 8 events a day.
Wow.
Across the city of Chicago of various sizes. So yeah, it be getting popping in the summer, y'all. It be going up. All right, so far, just on the nature of that last question, the rules, Pope got that one. And so we are 1-1.
Okay.
Jamie pulled through on question 1. Pope pulled through on question 2. This is best case scenario. All right. So we got a couple rapid fire ones here. I'm going to give you 2 events, and I want you to tell me which one comes first on the calendar, or if they're happening on the same weekend. We don't need exact dates. All right. First up, we got Pride Fest and Chicago's Pride Parade. Which one comes first, or are they on the same weekend?
Buzz. Pride Fest comes first.
Yes, it does. It comes the weekend before June 22nd and June 23rd in North Halstead. The parade is the weekend after. A reminder, the parade is shorter this year. We're going to have an episode all about it on Monday, including a few more events that's happening across the city. All right, next. So far, Pope is up 1. We got Fiesta del Sol and Tacos y Tamales. Both are in Pilsen. Which one comes first?
Buzz.
Pope first on that one as well.
I believe Tacos y Tamales comes first.
Yes, Tacos y Tamales is July 19th and 21st. Fiesta del Sol is the weekend after. And the last one, the Bud Billiken Parade and the Air and Water Show. Which one happens first?
Buzz.
Jamie, you got the buzz. Go ahead.
Shit.
you were just focused on getting the buzz. Which one is first, or do they happen the same weekend?
Hold on. I do know. Shut up. I just can't remember correctly. Okay, so Bud Billiken and then Aaron Water Show. No, wait. Aaron Water Show and then Bud Billiken.
You can't change your answer.
Yes, I can. Aaron Water, then Bud Billiken. That's my final answer.
On different weekends, same weekend, and different times. Which one?
Different weekends.
Damn, I tried to give it to you at the end.
Damn it, you worked. Oh my God.
The Air and Water Show is August 10th and 11th, and the Bud is on the 10th, so they happen at the same time.
This game is rigged. I demand a recount.
It ain't really about that festival.
I demand a recount.
That's all it's about. It's okay.
Unfortunately, Pope takes this one 3-1. If we had more questions, you could pull. I'm poor Jamie.
Exactly.
Unfortunately for Jamie.
No, unfortunately, no, period.
I was going to do a more ceremonious congratulations, but unfortunately for you, Jamie, we are out of questions. And so congratulations to our inaugural festival trivia winner to round out our Revolution Brewing Summer Festival week, Brandon Pope.
That's right. Can I'd like to thank my family. I'd like to thank everyone who likes to participate in the shenanigans with me. I'd like to thank Summertime Shy. And thank you, Jamie, for not knowing festivals,
Every single episode of CityCast Chicago ends the same way, and that's with some good news. It's an opportunity for us to bring a little more positivity to the episode, even more than we already had in this episode. I'm going to start with our festival trivia winner today. Pope, what is your good news for our CityCast listeners today?
My good news is that we need to put some respect on Angel Reese's name.
Come on.
I believe the rookie of the month in June is about to be Miss Angel Reese of the Chicago Sky. She currently leads all of the rookies in points, rebounds, steals, offensive rating, win shares and double-doubles. She averages a double-double at this point
12
in her
and
career.
10.
Yes.
2 assists and 2 steals.
And look, this week, Wednesday night, she had 20 points, 10 rebounds, and an assist. Angel Reese is out here doing a great job and deserves way more attention and love. I think she has a great argument to be Rookie of the Month. And eventually, when it's all said and done, Rookie of the Year, as the Chicago Sky are really building out what's set to be a really exciting team going forward for years to come.
She came off back-to-back games of 5 steals just at the end, put down 20 and 10. Again, the team is learning a lot of new pieces, new coach, new system. And so they're still building. And so right now, it isn't fully translating into all the W's we want. But again, the W is looking good. Shout out to Angel Reese. You can catch the entire Chicago Sky tonight playing the Washington Mystics at 6:30. Jamie, over to you. What is your some good news?
For like fans of Juneteenth and Jan Jackson will be here at the United Center with Nelly as her opener. Like it's amazing. She puts on the best concerts. I saw her in Tinley Park last year, and she was like, it was just, I got my entire life. So yes. So Juneteenth, June 19th, Jan Jackson, United Center, Nelly. She'll be doing songs from Rhythm Nation and I think Control and some others. If tickets are still available, by all means, check it out. But hurry up. As a kid who grew up watching Jan Jackson, like music videos and trying to like get all of the choreography down and winding up in the ER a few times behind that, like it is, like it's just an amazing experience. So
the ER.
I don't want to talk about it. We don't have to go into details, but yeah, I mean, like,
what was you doing to get in the ER?
Hey man, listen, like that pleasure principle backflip, okay? Like it's you don't attempt it at home. Like it's like the WWE, don't you? Yeah, I know. Is there any other way though?
Makes you want to scream, you know?
You want to be starting something?
Hey, for a concert to get people out, I know it's Juneteenth, but a concert to get people out on a Wednesday night to the United Center, the Together Again show is going to be a good one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Don't wait a while.
Rounding us out, a show tonight that I'm very excited for, put on by the Real Ones. They're celebrating a year of the Soft and Tender series over at Metro. A Real Soft, Real Tender featuring Rich Robbins, Elton Orwer, Green Tea, and the Tempos. And the show is being hosted by Naira, who folks may have heard on the podcast a few times. One of Chicago's best hosts, best poets, best all-around personalities. So shout out to that one. We will drop links in the show notes. I want to give a huge thank you to our guest today. Shout out to Jamie Nesbitt Golden from Block Club Chicago. Jamie, it's always good to see you, my friend.
Same. Thanks for having me.
And a huge shout out to our trivia winner, WCIU TV host Brandon Pope.
Great to be here, bro. As always good times. And hey, I got to defeat Jamie at something, so even better.
Like it only happened this one time. Like, don't get used to it. Like, you only beat me once.
Sure.
So,
all right.
Enjoy it. Briefly.
Before we let you go, a huge round of thank yous for the people who make CityCast Chicago. Our executive producer, Simone Alisea. Our producer, Michelle Navarro. Our Hey Chicago newsletter editor, Sydney Madden. The music we all love is from Sam Thousand, All the Kimonos, and Mark Greenberg from the Mayfair Workshop. And as always, my biggest thank you is for you. Whether you've been riding with us for 800 episodes, 8 episodes, 18 minutes, because you're listening to this on 2x speed. Regardless, I appreciate you being here. We're going to be back bright and early on Monday. We'll talk to you then. Peace.